ground. Mount Zion righteousness come from one atonement song. One atonement song. From the root base to the crown. Life is interdependent. There's no disconnecting components. The universe resides in harmony. Where everything rotates according. In a them your blissful garden. One source is what we are to see. In a them your physical realms we depend on gravity. Water to quench our thirst, this is truth and reality. Infinitely wind blows, and who abide they all can see. Just free up who no conscience, and never deny one accord and see. Mount Zion righteousness come from one atonement song. One atonement song. From the ceiling to the ground. Mount Zion righteousness come from one atonement song. One atonement song. From the root base to the crown. No man is an island. We truly need just one day. Manifest that our works. We all must walk within a better man. Life shows an higher purpose. I will keep Kalo in this for
That's what wine, sunshine, and water smells like. I don't think it's supposed to smell like this. Just want to get off all this skin, and if it gets too hot, you can just dip it in the water. And the goal is to get as much of the black stuff as you can. That's all the skin. And you get it down to what we call the 18th century Chinaman harpoon. Pretty much. You get it down to this, right about here, and throw it in the middle. But us, we're actually very picky about our collar. So we go again and we make sure that we get all the skin, because you don't want to end up in our point. And you just go around and do a second spot clean. So double check that none of the skin is gonna transfer. Nothing's at all. And then with the second scraping, it's called ihi. And with ihi, you want to go on with the back of your butter knife, and you want to hold the towel so that you're scraping towards you. That way you have more control. And technically, this right here is called, well actually I don't know the real term for it. It's actually, people call it koina, meaning leftovers, because usually this would be fed to the pigs. But that's because it was mixed in with a lot of this, which has cow skins. But when we separate it enough, it creates, it's just simply the sugars of the taro. So the maturing process, the starch converts to the sugar. Unfortunately, the sugar doesn't have all the beneficial bacteria that the starch molecule has. So we clean it off because bacteria feed off of two things, which is sugar and water. Add too much of those, it doesn't ferment, it rots. Which is why you have to refrigerate commercial made poi. And really what you do is, as you see, I'm scraping down and it's getting a little bit lighter in color. So with this particular variety, it's called Lehuo, which is why it's famous for its kind of reddish, purplish color. But as you clean down to the starch, you'll find that it's more of a white taro. And usually, sometimes it varies on the variety, but the colors are different. We use the colors on knowing where's the starch and which is the sugars. So we clean that off. And then you're down to this, which is the Kalo. And pretty much you just clean it down to it. There's no imperfections. I'm sure, did you guys read the Kalo, Kalo Echo? So, Kalo, well, actually I don't know why this was, but there was a chief, actually I'll pull up the story. So, this is and this right here, the separation of the flesh is actually the ego, and the ego, the ulika, and the loli loli. The loli loli, which was the most outer part, was the over mature part, and loli loli literally means to age. The ulika is the kind of gummier, sweeter stuff, which is right here. This is stuff that we cleaned off in the coino. This is a little bit sweeter. This is this isn't the starch, and then on the very inside is the eo. Now eo, in one translation, could be translated as like pop, but you know my perception of it is literally the essence of the taro. You know? So this was Kalo in his purest form. So after that, I'm gonna grab a little mecca for you, which you can clean into, and you can grab a towel. So you'll notice the difference, a little bit more dry. Like a little bit more breadish. Actually, the Kalo, when boiled, is preferred as the Irish sweet potato. Right in there when you're done. You just really want to make sure that it's as clean as it can be. Yeah, I want to read that. Here's the originating name. Kilo, you can call Echo, or Kilo of the dirty town. Koa Ikamani, chief of the district of Kalo, went to Honolulu for a vacation, and it was the duty of the upland farmers of that section of the land to take turns bringing poi to him and his court. When it was Hilal's turn, the chief's or steward was shocked to find the speck of taro peeling in the poi. It was dirty. The poi makers were severely punished, and Hilal became synonymous with uncleanliness. Say of a person that he was from Hilal, perhaps, with some stress on the name of the village, is the equivalent of saying that he was dirty. Hilal Paha, to cause a fight with a quick-tempered Kalo native in my childhood. Today, the insult can pass unnoticed. Cleanliness in toy making was imperative, and until it became a commercial commodity, strainers were unknown. Which means, if you use a strainer, dirty. So how come all the Pioneers, they gotta grind them, you know, just like, pretty much like applesauce, yeah? Just throw in the rotten apple and strain out all of the junk stuff, you know?
Right.
I mean, technically, the taro peak is where all the bacteria is, right?
Right.
So if the taro peak is mixing with that, you know, then there's a term called cross-contamination, you know? And actually, the only Department of Health regulation of oil is that 30% taro, 30% taro, the rest is water.
Wow.
Puppy eye is 99% taro. But in this process, is completely different. The ancestors had it down to the technique. There's a reason why you gotta pound it. You know, there's a reason why we don't have a mill. And that's because when you crush the cell, the starch molecule on top of the cellular molecular level, what you're really doing is you're almost like the knob to the door, or even the knob for your video games, the joystick. You know, this right here, the handle is called the Kalo. You know, this stand, and it's pretty much where your most of gripping is gonna be, that on the knob. And then this at the bottom is the mole. Notice how there's no you know, corners. It's pretty much completely smooth. And then in between that, the Kalo and the mole is the kae. And the kae is the very, very, very thin line around the right. So just keep that in mind. Those are pretty much the general parts on all the pohaku. You'll find that each one of them, like you, are unique in their own ways, you know. Some might have no pores, some might be made of sand, some might be light, some might be heavy. All shapes and sizes. So you're warming up, you gotta test out the taro, you have to test out the pohaku, you know, how you're feeling internally and today. And what you want to do is you want to mash it. It might be easier if you, yeah, just like that. And then you can pound it harder, you can pound it softer, but just be aware that kui is similar to like kui, which is like boxing. So y'all gotta make sure there's a little bit snap to your step. I usually just try. So naturally the Kalo is gonna stick to the stone, so you just wanna make sure that you press down your weight so it won't mash the taro. Yeah, you might notice that like you try like different strokes. Sometimes like secret little hidden buttons. So now you kind of got the, you know, logistics of it. I never use that word in context. But one technique was pretty much you wet your hand, you dip it in the water, and you shake it until there's no drips. And this would minimize the water on your stone. And all you do is you slap the bottom of your stone and lubricates it. You might take some stuff out here and there, but it lubricates it so that it doesn't stick as much. So as soon as you notice, when you slap your hand on the bottom of the stone that starts to stick, you simply dip your hand in the water again, shake it, and you should stops it. Then you'll get into the kind of rhythm of it, you know, and as you cool it, so that might affect you if you're right-handed or left-handed.
Everybody wild, it's a wonder. You can't come out town. We got the place that you left.
So what you do is you simply dip your hand in the water, you shake it, and you stop the bottom of your stone. And what you do is even if there's Kalo on the bottom of your stone, you hit the board hard enough, but you just make it so that it just touches the board, right? And then you snap it back. It's not important on how hard you hit the board, it's how fast you can get it off. So you gotta kind of like roll the stone a little bit.
From one or two men song, one or two men song. From just ceiling to the ground, Mount Zion righteousness come from one or two men song, one or two men song. From the root base to the crown, life is interdependent. There's no disconnecting components. The universe resides in harmony, where everything rotates according. In a them your blissful garden. One source is what we are to see. In a them your physical realms we depend on gravity. Water to quench our thirst, this is truth and reality. Infinitely wind blows, and who abide they all can see. Just free up who no conscience and never deny. One accord and see. Mount Zion righteousness come from one atonement song. One atonement song. From Jah ceiling to the ground, Mount Zion righteousness come from one atonement.
Probiotic wow. And it's crazy because, you know, as long as you just keep refilling it, you know, add fresh point to the sour. One, you can never taste the sour point. Two, you have point all year long. And three, you 100 years down the line, you can say, my great-great-great-grandfather made this to sustain him and his family. And I'm continuing to sustain myself. Yeah. And sustaining mine, you know, with my own.
Life shows an higher purpose. I will keep Kalo Miss for us. Know thyself to divinity, living consciousness out of yeah. It's not the vessel but the vibes within, yeah. One Jah, one name, one destiny. It's not the vessel but the thought within, yeah. One sun, one moon, one agency. Universally, so free. Hey, Mount Zion righteousness come from one atonement song. One atonement song. From Jah ceiling to the ground, Mount Zion righteousness come from one atonement song. One atonement song. From the root base to the crown. Yeah, just life and oneness. Everything within the universe and just one source is I and I see. Yeah, the breath is divine. Every living source of the divine.